Hey now, East Coast Gullwings, video number 38 maybe? All right, well, we are checking my runout on my C-3 Corvette frame that I'm using for the Gullwing. Kind of more of a Corvette thing than anything, but very important to have proper runout on the Corvettes because of the way the calipers are mounted. They say you could pump air into them if the runout is too much. And this is reading about 14,000 on the high spot. Okay, so you have to have a dial indicator with a mount. That's a must-have. Basically, mark the high spot. Okay, so we're out 15,000s, 14,000s, which is a lot, but I'm not going to cut the rotors this way and then take off 30,000s to make a true reading to zero on this. So what they do is they have hub correction shims. This one is to correct. They only come in 3,000s and 6,000s. So I will use the biggest one, which is a 6,000s correction. And then basically what'll end up happening is it'll be less material that I have to cut off a new rotor. So the rotor obviously will last longer. So I'm going to pause it and I will show you what I'm going to do. Basically, I'm going to pull this rotor off, mark the high spot. High spot goes on top. You mark your two lugs that the high spot is next to or the closest. And I also mark the hub itself where the high spot falls on the hub. So be back in 1 second. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken off the lug nuts, and I would recommend using all 5 lug nuts with a grade 8 washer. And I would use shitty lug nuts because they do flatten. You can see that at the bottom of the lug nut. I really don't care. These aren't the lug nuts I'm using, so they're just ones I have in a drawer. Or you can use the other lug nuts, not these acorn style that are open in the back, flip them back around, and then use the back side of it with the washer. I would definitely use a washer. You don't want to mess up your new rotors. So let's see if I can take this off real quick. Okay, so that was the high spot. These are the 2 lugs that I marked. That's the high spot I marked on here so I know where I'm at. So now we'll do this with this rotor in my hand here. Take the shim. You see there's a notch. See if you can see that. See there's a notch there? Right there in that shim. That's the high spot that gets lined up. You want it closest to the high spot. So luckily for me, it falls right in, and it's right there. So now we put the rotor back on. Let's see if we can do this. People don't mind the shakiness. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lugs back on, and then we'll check it and see where we're at. All right, BRB. Okay, we are back. So all the lug nuts are back on. They are hit with the impact gun real quick, nothing crazy. Just like you would if you were to put it on a car. So we are down to a little, what, about 8, that's the damn thing. About 8.5, 9,000ths of run out. They only say to use 1 shim, so that's all I'm gonna do. The way I see it is that's 12,000ths of material that I don't have to take off this rotor. So that's pretty much it. The only thing I'm going to do now is I have my stamps here. I'm going to index the rotor and the hub so that if this ever has to come apart again, you know, I'll be able to just, you know where it's got to go and put it back together. So the thing is, when I do cut this rotor, I will have all these lugs and washers on. And like I said, this way, when I put it back together, it'll be indexed. I'll know where it goes, and that's pretty much it. So, all right, everybody. Ciao, mein.